Hey everyone, Josh here. So today on the CJAA TDI, we're going to be doing a turbo. So the previous video, we decided the turbo shaft's broken. That's causing a no start. So we've got a gently used turbo here, along with all the piping. So we can kind of go over what needs to be replaced. This car will have a few little things that are a little bit different, so it's going to make my life a bit easier, but if you're watching this video to replace yours, you're going to have a few extra parts in this area that will be in your way. But anyway, so here's the turbo. So it's going to sit like this in the car. You've got your fresh air intake, which is that curvy piece, which you're going to have one bolt going in there, and then it's just going to be a little turn and that comes out. Charge air pipe, which is the straight dampener piece. It's got two bolts into there. All of your manifold studs, as well as your EGR. Your down pipe, which is just the V-band clamp. And then some miscellaneous wiring. Got your pressure port there, and then your drain there. So we're gonna undo all that stuff on this car and then get the turbo out. Okay, so first off, from up top here, we're gonna get the fresh air intake off. So we got this clamp that's already off the air box. There's that bolt down there. So that'll be the one that's holding this onto the turbo. Your crankcase ventilation line that goes off there. And then this connector here will take off. And then you just gotta kind of fit it out around all these hoses and wire and stuff. Okay, so we got a little bit more wiggle room here now with the fresh air intake out. So now we're gonna do electrical. So we've got these two here. It's hidden in behind this blanket, which is just snapped together. We're gonna get the turbo vane sensor, position sensor unplugged. So same thing, it's just a button. I need my second hand to do that. We're gonna do this vacuum line, and then this would have went to a DPF sensor. So if you need to figure out where all of the emission stuff would go, I've got a video on removing it on a CJAA Passat, which is somewhat similar. Removing it for repair. So if you need to figure out where all that stuff goes, you can check out that video. But anyways, we're gonna get all this stuff out of the way. Okay, so we got most of the electrical out of the way here. But we have one main harness going down the back. It was included in this blanket, but it's plugged into something underneath. So it's plugged into the EGR there. So we're gonna unplug it and get that pulled back up the top side. Okay, so the harness is out of the way. So up next we're gonna I already got the air box out. I figured it would be a good time to check and make sure the air filter is good, or that it even has an air filter, because I have bought cars that somebody removed them for some reason. So that's all good. So we're gonna get this hot air intake off, which is just the one bolt back here. And then the boost pipe off the turbo. There's just clamps up here. We're gonna get undone as well. So then that would help us get at the EGR pipe. Okay, so let's get this better. So the charge hoses, that bolt's kind of stripped out, the bottom one's seized. And then I don't have a whole lot of wiggle room to get this boot off, so I'm just gonna wait till the turbo is hanging free. So up top, we're gonna do the high pressure EGR lines, which those 12mm nuts do not look nice. So we're gonna get those unbolted and then do the pressure feed line. Okay, so here we are now. We've got this oil return line. The fitting that goes into the turbo broke. You got that little fitting actually right here. This piece threads into your turbo like that, and then this would be your high pressure line. Always seems that this cracks loose, and then when you're turning this, you end up twisting the turbo line off. So to try and save that, I got in there with a punch and broke that off. So I'm gonna have to replace this piece. So is what it is. The the light's the wrong way here, but the turbo or the EGR lines are off there. And then if we go underneath, I took the downpipe off already. So it's just sitting back there. So I've got a little bit more room in here now. So looking at it from here, I've got my turbo drain line there, which goes to the basically the support as well. So you got to undo that bolt, and then you can undo the drain into the block there, so you can get that whole rod out of the way. And then the plan next would be to undo all those bolts that hold the turbo on, and then I have to kind of get it up and over to get away from the EGR and the boost pipe. So it's not real fun, but it is what it is, so we'll keep going here. Okay, so next up is taking the turbo bolts out, and then hopefully the turbo should just fall right out of there. So each manifold or each runner has 2 bolts on it, one on the top, one on the bottom. So we're gonna spray that with penetrating oil to hopefully they don't end up like that one. These 4 over here are gonna be easy, whereas these ones are kind of in the way of the EGR, so they might be less fun, but I'm gonna give her a try. All right, so we're all kinds of cockeyed here right now. I still have the CV shaft in underneath. I don't know if I'm gonna pull that out yet or not. But yeah, it's dripping oil out of the charge air tube and fuel out of the runners from trying to start it so much, so it's just a mess. I'm hoping I can kind of get it down past the EGR cooler and past these AC lines, either out the bottom or out the back. Okay, so yeah, the drive shaft has to come out. It won't fit out the back, at least with the actuator on, which doesn't seem real easy to get off or worth my time. So we're gonna pull the axle out. So you need a 27 mil chrome socket for extra power, and then big batteries, it's on there tight. So a quick and easy way to get the shaft out is if you unbolt your lower control arm ball joint, you can pull this far enough away, and if you steer to your left so that rod gets extended, you have a lot more wiggle room yet too, and it just kind of squeaks out of there nice and easy. Okay, here it is on the bench. So got a couple issues. So first off, don't mind my fingers. That nut's loose. Then on the other side here, so I don't know what happened to this thing. It's only got 108,000 miles on it. But anyways, there's a couple things I think I missed taking it apart. I took the EGR, low pressure EGR off, which that goes in here to the inlet on the turbo, hence the low pressure EGR term. So that was just a little, this thing here. That just bolts onto the cooler like that, and then bolts there. I don't think it had to come out, but it was pretty tricky getting in from here to get this bolt. So I just got that out of the way, kind of made it a bit easier. I think that was pretty well it. It's not terrible, especially if you've got a high flow downpipe. But yeah, I guess we're gonna get the new used turbo ready to go back together. So the new used turbo is now in. There's nothing really special about putting it in, just the opposite of taking it out, obviously. So we're gonna pre-lube the turbo to make sure the bearings don't get wrecked. So I just got my little plunger here, a little bit of oil. So we're just gonna, got the high pressure, the feed line off. So we're just gonna just pour a bunch down in there. Maybe spin the turbo with your fingers a little bit, and then we're gonna disable the fuel system and crank it a little bit yet too to make sure the line gets full, and then we'll start it up. I've got everything off the turbo. I want to make sure no seals are leaking or anything like that. So yeah, I'll do that now off camera and then carry on. All right, so I got the turbo oil feed lines on, so now we're gonna crank it without it starting. So we're gonna disable the fuel system. So I'm gonna unplug the injectors, nice and easy to do. Maybe if I have both hands, it's easy to do. But yeah, just go across, unplug all 4, and then we're gonna go and crank it. Okay, so injectors are all unplugged, so we're gonna get cranked for probably 30 seconds or so. Maybe a little less. But since we pre-oiled it, I'm not too concerned about lack of oil. So we're gonna plug it in now. The reason I've got all these air lines off is since it's a used turbo, I just wanna make sure it's not bypassing oil out of the exhaust or obviously the charge pipes. So I'll get these plugged in and we'll get it running. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of used turbos, but anyways, this one's on. Spit a little bit of fuel out the exhaust, mainly probably from cranking it so much, trying to get it started with the bad turbo. And then the air intake side, not that you can see any of it. It's all nice and clean. It didn't spit any oil out there, so I think we're good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna end the video here. There's nothing very special after you've got the turbo full of oil and running and stuff. Just all the air pipes, stuff like that. The one thing I would recommend, especially if your turbo failed, such as this one, would be to clean your intercooler out. So if we go underneath here, we've got a charge pipe from the intercooler right here that goes up to your intake, and we've got one here that would come from the top of your transmission from the turbo. So I would undo either of these ones and then tilt, like, so say if we undid this one, tilt the car down so the intercooler sloped down, and hopefully if there's any oil accumulated in here, it should run out and into your catch bin. The reason you want to do that is if it's right full of oil, you start it up, and probably the first or second pull you go and do, it's gonna suck all that oil up in, and you're gonna get a runaway. Hopefully there's not too much oil in there that it would hydrolock, but that's just something to think about, is get all that oil out before it, before you have to do an engine yet too. So hopefully this video helped you, and thanks for watching.